So, what if solving our planet's water crisis didn't mean building massive dams, but instead just wearing the solution? Today, we are diving into a truly radical blueprint for our climate future. It's a concept that completely reimagines not just our cities, but our personal relationship with the environment itself.
Let's start with a number that really sets the stage. As of May 2025, atmospheric CO2 levels peaked above 430 parts per million. Now, that's the largest single year jump ever recorded. It's a stark reminder of just how fast this crisis is accelerating. And here's another one. By 2050, it's projected that 2.4 billion people, that's billion with a B, living in cities will be facing severe water scarcity. That's billions of us in the very places we call home without enough of the one thing we absolutely need to live.
And finally, this. In the global bleaching event that ran from 2024 into 2025, over 80% of the world's coral reefs were exposed to life-threatening heat stress. The very foundations of our oceans, they're in serious, serious trouble. It's a pretty overwhelming picture, right? But what if the answer wasn't another enormous dam or some continent-sized desalination plant? What if the solution was personal, decentralized, and something you could literally just put on every morning? You see, these numbers aren't just statistics. They're a massive flashing sign that our current centralized systems are failing us. It really forces us to ask, is there a fundamentally different way to think about a resource as basic as water? And that new way of thinking, it starts with a revolutionary technology called metal organic frameworks, or MOFs. The best way to think of them is like microscopic programmable sponges. They have this ridiculously huge internal surface area, so they can be designed to pull specific molecules, in this case water vapor, right out of thin air, even when it's not very humid. We're talking Nobel Prize-winning science here, and it's what makes this whole idea even possible. So, you've got this incredible material science. How do you turn it into a personal solution? Well, you build it into something you can wear. Meet the concept of the Stillsuit pie. The idea is so simple, but it's totally revolutionary. A piece of clothing that acts as your own personal mobile water source. It's designed to capture moisture from the air around you, fog and mist, but also to recycle the water your own body is constantly producing through sweat and breath. So, how much water are we actually talking about here? The goal for the design is 2.7 liters a day for the person wearing it. The bulk of that, 1.7 liters, comes passively, just by capturing fog and mist. Another 0.6 liters are recycled from your body's own sweat and breath. And then the last zero point 0.4 liters are reclaimed using a tiny purification system that's inspired by the same tech they use on the International Space Station. And we're not talking about just any water. The suit's internal system, which uses UV light and a living filter patch of good microbes, is aiming for the exact same purity standard as the ISS. That is incredibly clean water, with total impurities below 40 parts per million. But wait, the suit does more than just give you water. In what's called Guardian mode, it becomes your personal climate shield. It uses a tiny bit of that collected water for evaporative cooling, actively lowering your skin temperature. The collar has a filter that scrubs out over 70% of those nasty PM 2.5 pollution particles from the air you breathe. And the most elegant part? The whole system is powered by you just moving around, thanks to special fabric that generates electricity from friction. Okay, so that's the personal solution. Awesome. But how does this scale up? Well, this is where we zoom out. From one person in a suit to millions of people, all creating a brand new kind of city. A city that literally breathes. The suits are just one piece of this living system. The city itself is re-engineered to breathe with you. You've got inside-out pipes on buildings that give shade during the day, then use the cold night sky to condense and harvest dew. You have city lungs, corridors with porous bark-like textures that filter air pollution and collect water. And for the really dry days, big community mesh sails get deployed in public spaces, acting as a backup so everyone has enough. Okay, now this is where the whole concept goes from just brilliant to truly visionary. The system doesn't just solve a human problem. It's designed to actively heal the planet. It connects the city's metabolism directly to saving our coral reefs. So how on earth does that planetary loop work? Let's walk through it. Step 1, your suit captures water and logs the data. Step 2, a secure digital ledger tracks every single liter produced across the whole city. 3, the city's infrastructure actually uses captured CO2 from the atmosphere to create a solution called alkalinity. And 4, this alkalinity is then delivered to nearby coral reefs, acting like a medicine that helps them rebuild their skeletons and fight off ocean acidification. And it's a smart system, too. You have real-time sensors on the coral that monitor its health, creating what the designers call a reef immune system. This system then adaptively doses the alkalinity, giving the reef exactly what it needs right when it needs it. So your personal act of making water directly contributes to a coral-positive footprint for the entire city. Pretty amazing. Now, I know this might all sound like something out of a sci-fi novel, but the paper this is based on lays out a very concrete roadmap. This isn't just a dream, it's an actual plan. The plan follows something called Technology Readiness Levels, or TRLs, which is how you map a concept from the lab all the way to the market. It starts small, in 2026 with just a simple sleeve. By 2027, a full vest. But the really key milestone is in 2028, a pilot program with 10,000 residents in a coastal city, trying to go 90 straight days with zero water from the grid. If that works, the goal is industrial scale by 2030. And of course, there's an economic layer to make it all work. A watercoin ledger creates incentives. You earn a baseline credit for passively collecting water from the air. You earn a little more for actively recycling your own body's moisture. But you earn the most when your water gets counted as part of the reef healing system, which rewards the actions that help out the entire ecosystem. I want to end on this quote for an engineer's log in the source material. "The night stops being absence and becomes rain we make." That's such a powerful idea. This isn't just a technology, it's a totally new relationship with our environment. It's a shift from just taking resources to actively regenerating them. From a human-centered design to a system where our own existence, our own breath, becomes part of the solution, healing the planet one single drop at a time.